Do you love freedom? Do you love being clean? Then you'll love Hero Soap Company, made in the USA. Chemical and fragrance free. A portion of each purchase donated to veteran and first responder charities. Initial subscription purchase is matched bar for bar and sent overseas to deploy troops. Let freedom clean. Hero Soap Company.
Welcome back to Forbidden Knowledge News. I'm your host, Chris Matthew. Today my guest is Jake Parsons. Before I bring him on, just a couple of announcements. You can always get new episodes free on Rokfin, Odysee, and all podcast platforms. Check us out on Rokfin. This is where you get our premium content, regular shows, and all the awesome content from every creator on Rokfin. Check out the new awesome podcast by the Forbidden Knowledge Network. You can get them all in one place. That's our website, forbiddenknowledge.news. We've added a couple new ones this month. Click the link in the description. Go check that out. Also, we have Facebook pages that I never really talk about. They've always been there. Those links are also in the description. You can follow us there to get show announcements, updates, and important information. Check out our merch store. You can get shirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, and all kinds of awesome FKN gear. And finally, we're living in extremely unsure times. An emergency food supply would be a perfect investment right now. Check out the experts in emergency preparedness, My Patriot Supply. Their nutritious, delicious food stays good in storage for up to 25 years. And right now, you can get up to $100 off a 4-week supply of their food. Just click the link in the description to see what My Patriot Supply has to offer. Today, I want to welcome back to the show Jake Parsons. He has been a firefighter and paramedic in Central Florida for about 14 years, a musician and writer, primarily focusing on creating highly conscious content through the use of language, symbol, and metaphor. His YouTube channel is The 100th Monkey, Jake Parsons. He is currently writing a book called Everyday Alchemy, which he calls psychological fiction or parareality, mixing fact in fiction and the infusion of gnosis in poetry, which he calls noetry. Jake, welcome back. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Today is going to be a really good time. This is going to be the second ever Conspiracy Buffet show where we're always going to discuss some of my favorite and the most well-known conspiracies throughout history. And starting in 2020 through today, we found out that many of these are actually reality. It makes you wonder what's real, what's true, and how deep do these rabbit holes go. And you were on Beyond Classified a couple of months ago. For those that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what led you down your current path.
All right. Yeah. So this is my second time talking with you. Awesome catching up with you. Ready to dig into a bunch of conspiracies that are definitely true now. And so I'm a fireman, paramedic, been one for about 14 years. I'm in the Central Florida area. I'm a writer, podcaster. I do a lot of things on YouTube. My YouTube channel is The 100th Monkey, Jake Parsons on YouTube. Mainly focus on alchemy, spirituality, and conspiracy. But like you, I'm a fan of everything. I think most of us are just very curious people, and we've always been on the fringe. So whether it was aliens in the X-File days or Project Bluebeam now, all the conspiracies, we seem to be correct on all of them. It's the whole thing of, does fiction or art write reality, or is it vice versa?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We're living in such fascinating times, and yeah, like you said last time you were on, we got into some more darker topics, and we got really deep, but very important stuff as well. But today we're gonna have a lot of fun, maybe lighten it up a little bit. I want to start with Jake. What are some of your favorite conspiracies? What were some of the ones that really got your wheels spinning and got you, going deep down some of these rabbit holes?
Oof, well, as a kid, I think most of us as kids, we've seen the strangeness evolve. I think from when we were kids, it was like the UFOs, the aliens, like I just said, the X-Files type things. And I would say the most interesting concept for me is when you start to realize the hidden truth in everything around you, when you start to realize the symbolism. And once I could start to understand the language of metaphor, the language of symbol, and really the language of the true meaning of words, word etymology, the world, you start to see the esoteric instead of the exoteric. You see the hidden reality, the hidden meaning behind everything. And that to me is really my favorite conspiracy, is showing how it's all connected, that everything that we're given is that it's given to us. It is the cult within culture, that there is nothing new under the sun, and it is all controlled. Everything is piggybacking on the same radio waves. And we know everything is from the military, DARPA, these deep research projects, and then they're siphoned down to us after they're controlled and co-opted. So it's interesting to me, the things that we loved as kids, the craziest concepts that you would ever imagine are real. They're at least based on some truth, like people are watching Stranger Things, and then you show, okay, this is Project Montauk in the Montauk chair. And, you go into all these MK Ultra type truths. So that's to me the best. And the thing that I love the most is the proof in the crazy conspiracy pudding.
Yeah, and when it turns out that Star Wars could be more of reality than we could ever imagine, man, we live in really fascinating times, and I'm really enjoying how a lot of this stuff is coming out, and I'm enjoying the looks on a lot of people's faces when they're finding out the truth a lot about this stuff. So yeah, we live in great times to be alive, even though it can be scary and there's a lot of turmoil and there's a lot of things that are kind of happening that aren't so good. I like to focus on the positive and have a good time no matter what, because you know what, it's just a ride, and we talked about that last time a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about some of the more mainstream type conspiracies, starting with the moon landing. I want to get your thoughts on this one because, there's tons of different theories about this one, that it didn't even occur, that it did occur, but we faked the footage for some reason, probably because there was people there that we didn't want to show. The other one is that the moon is a hologram or plasma, or it's not physical. There's all kinds. What do you think about the moon landing?
No matter what, it's complete bullshit, and they never get the truth like most things. I think that it's a perfect lesson, and it should humble everybody. The conspiracy is not for the confident. And if you think you have the answer to any of these things, you've already been tricked. So to me, it's like the JFK shooting. All of these things are covered in so many layers of deception that we'll never know the real truth to it. One thing's for certain is that the official narrative is bullshit, like 9/11, like everything else, like COVID, like everything else we're given. The official narrative is false. That's all you need to know, and that's all we can really prove. I love my favorite astronaut, Don Pettit. When you listen to these guys, I thought, look, I'm a fireman, bro. I'm 34 years old. I'm a fireman, paramedic. Been one for well over a decade. I'm a pretty smart guy. You got to wake me up at 3 a.m. and I got to be ready for a car crash, a house on fire, a child that's choking, having an allergic reaction,
Hookers on bath salts, apparently.
Hookers on bath salts in your driveway, for sure.
That was a conversation before, guys, so sorry you missed it.
Yeah, and it's a true story. I have fought some people on bath salts, including hookers. And I'm expected to do all these things, right? And I'm just a pretty normal guy. I think I'm pretty smart or whatever. And when you see some of these people that supposedly are astronauts that are flying around on the ISS at 17,500 miles an hour, working on the thing. And when you ask them, hey, what are you doing? The only thing they could say is, well, we're doing science and research. We're doing a lot of science, a lot of experiments. All of it's bogus. Neil Armstrong, all of them are Freemasons. We know this. They're talking to President Nixon on the phone back in the day, live on the phone. I can't even get good cell phone service when I'm at work. You get crappy cell phone service when you can't even get it in a plane. So somehow they were talking to the president live. It's pretty incredible. Nobody died. You watch some of this footage. It is the most unbelievable thing when the lunar module takes back off. It's so laughable, dude. That little Jeep that they're driving around on it. I mean, if people believe that, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you if you believe it. And there's a lot of people that built their whole truther careers on this, and especially with saying, oh, well, we went there and then we faked it and we covered it up because there's alien artifacts there and there's this whole thing on the dark side of the moon. Maybe, but I doubt it. Yeah, with plasma and all that stuff, the moon is something different. I'm sure you're familiar with the lunar wave that Crow 777 has filmed, and some of these other people. There's a lot of inconsistencies with the moon that I think are very curious. I think in our binary reality, whatever this is, if it's a holographic fractal simulation from a black cube of Saturn, demiurgic Sophia computing quantum machine, who knows, bro? If it is, the sun is probably a positive polarity in that, and the moon is a negative polarity, like a negative charge. The sun's obviously hot. Moonlight is cooler. If you put a thermometer in the moonlight, it would get cooler than if you put it in the shade. It would actually warm up. It's opposite of the sun. It's definitely not reflecting the light. And a new moon, after every cycle, which the moon is the root word for menstruation, is from moonstration, which is on a 28-day cycle, like the full moon, those lunatics, 20-day cycle, like a woman's moonstration, which they say is probably the soul recycler is the moon. It's that negative charge, that soul catcher that recycles you right out of the birth canal. That matrix could be. And there's just a lot of weird things on a new moon. After a full moon, it's never been seen, a new moon, for like 12 hours. Nobody can even find it or take a picture of it, measure it anywhere. You can't even find the moon. And people can research this stuff. So there's a lot of anomalies that, to me, shouldn't exist in 2021 with the things that we claim to do. Our claims and the way certain technologies have progressed, opposed to like space, when we're celebrating Jeff Bezos going 110,000 feet up when the moon is 250,000 miles away. It's a lot of people don't understand the real, us conspiracy theorists, we know the meat and potatoes, the real details of what they're saying is happening, how fast these rockets are going, the force that would be put on these people, the distances traveled. We know all that. But we're always told that we don't know anything, that we don't believe anything. We don't trust the science.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Now, while we're sliding into the area of, you mentioned holographic universe, some kind of simulation. Is the world flat? Is it a pancake? Is it a pizza? Let's talk about this. What about the nature of reality? there's many days that I lean that this is some kind of holographic simulation where, we don't live in a physical existence and everything is very malleable, including our reality, and we can even manifest our own reality, which I've, witnessed happen firsthand. So that kind of pushes me towards that direction at times. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that we're on a spinning ball that is, defined through modern science as, a planet, or are we something different? Are we some kind of realm? Are we some kind of holographic simulation? What are your thoughts on that?
Again, the official narrative is complete bullshit. The math that they give us, 8 inches per mile squared, would be simple facts break complicated lies. And one of those simple facts or simple truths that people should just kind of start thinking about are things like lighthouses. They don't work when you're given the math. A lot of these theories with the ball that they tell us we're on don't add up. The pictures that were given, if I took a picture of my hand and we took pictures of my hand, different times, different years, it would still be the same. Now, perspectives might change, but when we look at pictures of the earth, there are always different colors, different shapes of the continents, different sizes of the continents, things that can't be explained, repeating cloud patterns. We know they're all composites anyways. There's too many proofs that it's not what they say it is, right? We have rail guns, military naval ships have rail guns that can shoot 100 miles, targets 100 miles. It's not on a projectile. It's a rail gun. It's shooting something straight, 100 miles. That's missing how many thousands of feet of curve. The world's longest, world record for the longest photograph ever taken, line of sight photograph ever taken, is something like 240 miles, dude. That's impossible on the map that we're given. Now, what we're on, I'm not sure. I think it's like asking a player in Minecraft if the map in Minecraft is flat or round. What we do know is we're experiencing everything through our PlayStation player or our PlayStation avatar. That's our body with these 5 senses, and we're measuring these things, and we're trying to build systems to recreate that process. It seems real to us here, absolutely. Now, I think it's more of a matter of whatever we want it to be. I don't think we know exactly. I don't think we've explored the earth. Admiral Byrd, when you get into some of these historical accounts.
Yeah, you're rolling right into my next one, Hollow Earth.
Yeah, exactly. And even, again, people, you look at a bicycle rack. Where you're at in Colorado? Look at a bicycle rack, Thule. Or some people say Thule or whatever, but it's a bike rack, Thule. That's Ultima Thule. Thule is the Thule Society that the Nazis were from. You see these bike racks, and you don't even have to know. It's all right, that's probably Swiss or somewhere like that, because the Aryan race, they believed there was a land called Thule up in the Arctic, right? And just like Admiral Byrd with these Arctics, and when you get into all the aliens, the tall whites and the Nordics, and even the Anglo-Saxons, Anglo means angel, angel means sailor. So Admiral Byrd, he said that he was in that land in Antarctica, and that land was called New Schwabenland. Well, now we're all getting locked down and ruled by a guy named Charles Schwab.
Yeah, so right.
It's all very strange, bro. And it's all connected, it's all connected. So Antarctica, there's something there. We don't know. Then it definitely doesn't add up when you look at the globe they give us. It's different than that.
And that could also lead into the underground bases theory, that there are interconnecting bases deep underground that could possibly connect throughout the entire United States. I live in Denver. There's speculated that under the Denver airport is this massive military industrial facility or, shadow government facility, whatever it is, but they probably do. It probably does exist under there. That there's definitely something underground. There's way more dirt displaced there than ever needed to be, and it probably does connect, I wouldn't doubt, underground to a lot of facilities. What are your thoughts on that? And if so, do we have aliens down there?
We have aliens down there and up here and everywhere, right? The alien situation's so crazy, bro. You really don't even know what to make of that, do you? But Denver Airport is super interesting. I think it was built, my birthday is March 19th, and I want to say that it was built on March 19th. I remember seeing it because that Freemason symbol and whatever it was like the New World, whatever company that built it or something. It was like New World Order company. Then you have Lucifer, that big giant horse right there.
I have to pass by Lucifer all the time just to get a good look at him. He's beautiful.
And he fell on the creator and killed him when he was making it. All the things that were in there before, now they're like making fun of people about the alien stuff. So they have all this kind of like joke stuff. But go back and look at those murals that they used to have in there that were like very World War II-ish with these children and this famine. And you know what? Yeah. It was almost signaling and very reminiscent of what's going on today with these lockdowns and all that stuff. Yes. So it reminded me a lot of like they were trying to foreshadow that. It's definitely true. Denver is some type of hub. And when you're a reader or a researcher, and I read a lot of fiction too, book like World War Z, any military book. Anytime there's going to be some type of crazy catastrophe, disaster, they're always going to retreat to the Rockies or some type of natural barrier, natural mountain ranges and things like that, because they do have military bases in there. They do have underground structures. There is a reason why the civilizations that lasted through time were built in caves. I think we have been fooled to live by rivers that flood and all these places that are not safe to live by coastlines. And when the ones who probably are the real vampires of this realm are living forever in caves, things that have natural protection to radiation and EMF technologies. We don't even understand what these structures that we're in are doing to us and how they've changed our human spirit and our human antenna. So there's definitely something going on there, just like there is here in Florida. Every place has their own oddities, and like Florida with Disney World, they have tunnel systems there. In every one of the parks, there are these clubs, Club 33. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Yeah. And it's like $15,000 to be a member there. You can't go in there, and what kind of millionaire wants to pay a bunch of money to drink at a kid's park? Come on. So strange, bro.
A special type of millionaire, you know which ones.
Yeah. So a lot of things are going on that people don't want to admit. Just go in your local hotel or local high rise and try to get to the 13th floor and then tell me people aren't superstitious that run this world. Because you will never get on a 13th floor, and we're in 2021.
You're right, man. And you're talking about, how out here in the mountains there's probably all kinds of underground facilities. I live about 20 minutes from the Lockheed Martin facility in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, where they, build military industrial crap and spacecraft parts and things of that nature. So I go out there every once in a while for hikes and just hope that I might see an experimental craft out there. But no, not yet. So, but yeah, they got that stuff all over out here. And you're talking about the these royal families and these really elite people. Let's get into that. Starting with the royal family. Do you think the royal family has off-planet or reptilian blood or hybrids and they're drinking baby blood and satanic rituals? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. That seems probably likely, but what do you think?
Who, Queen Elizabeth? Yeah, definitely. Dude, come on, Liza. Oh, Lizzie. Man, Prince Charles, bro. He looked like the dude in, what was that, Underworld? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When they bring these guys out. 100%, dude. They're all hemophiliacs too. So
yeah. Wasn't Charles related to Vlad the Impaler as well?
100%.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was just gonna say. He was related supposedly to Vlad the Impaler, Dracula himself. Well, Drac is from Dracarys, right? Just like Game of Thrones, it's always a dragon. So they're telling you they're a dragon. Pindar is the pinnacle of the dragon. It's the dragon's dick. All of them are serpent worshiping weirdos. They probably licked enough lizards to become one themselves. You know, Queen Elizabeth's probably kissed enough frogs to become one, but she's definitely drinking baby's blood, dude. When you watch things like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and there's Hunter S. Thompson talking about the pituitary gland from the 13-year-old. You're like, bro, it's been in this shit since the 70s. Hunter S. Thompson was a snuff film director. They've been drinking blood and saying that they were vampires forever. Now, whether it really extends their life, I've been watching. I'm a reader, like I said. Read some Isaac Asimov or any of these other guys, but this new show on Apple TV, Foundation. And in Foundation, it's very interesting because it goes into like space technology and all this other bullshit. But the leaders of this whole galaxy, they stop recreating and they make clones. So the king just clones himself. So he has like dawn, day, and dusk. So there's like a young kid king and a ruling one and then an old one, but they're all the same one. How many Queen Elizabeths have there been in history that we know of?
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing. They always name their kids the same shit as them. There is a actual scientific term. One of my favorite scientific terms that you could ever come up with or whatever. And it's where reptiles, mostly reptiles, but humans have done it. It's immaculate conception, really. And it's parthenogenesis is the name of it, parthenogenesis. And Komodo dragons do it. There's like 50 species that do it. They don't have to mate and they just have a genetic clone of them. So if these people are reptilian in nature and are having, like the Bible said, some type of immaculate conception and having genetic clones of themselves, dude, I don't know what's going on with these people, man, but they live a long time. They live way too long. She is so old. She might be a hologram at this point. I'm not sure, but there's something other than us. That's for sure. Prince Andrew, when you see them, they all have these weird sharp teeth.
Yes, they do, and the psychopathy levels as well. These people are psychopaths. Yes. Well, they don't have
because of the inbreeding. I don't know. Maybe the inbreeding helps, but
yeah, it probably helps. Definitely. No, yeah, these I've seen the videos of the shape-shifting eyes and just other strange things. So with everything else that's come out in the past couple of years, I do not doubt that these fuckers could be some kind of alien hybrids. It would actually make more sense than if they were normal humans to me. I don't know. What about celebrities and the theory that if you want to get to a certain level, whether it's in the music industry, in the movie industry, that you have to basically gobble a devil dick and become the one with the Illuminati eye? What do you think about that one?
Yeah, 100%. That is, you have to open your fourth eye, which is your asshole.
Yeah.
Usually, I think. The third eye and then your fourth eye. Nobody talks about that. That's
the brown eye.
Yes, that's the last level of the Masons. I'm telling you, bro. They don't want to let you know.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But for real, the interesting thing, like, funny to me is you and I, we could laugh about this because it seems crazy. But the average person watches movies on this. They hear this language in they would see it in the Bible if they read it. that Lucifer was God's beloved son. And the reason why he was cast down out of heaven, Lucifer was the angel of music. That's why you have to sell your soul to the devil in order to get success in music and fame and fortune, all that stuff. That's the demiurgic reality, which is the god of this earth, which is Satan, material reality. Well, Lucifer wouldn't bow to Adam when God created him, so he was cast down. He took a third of his angels with him. And the same was repeated. They said he wouldn't bow to Jesus either. So you do have to, unfortunately, sell your soul at the crossroads. You've seen it. I'm a guitar player too and a musician. And Robert Johnson, Eric Clapton, any of these guys, you listen to their lyrics, they'll tell you. Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, all of them in their songs. Lil Nas X will say at some point, I sold my soul. I sold my soul to the devil, blah, blah, blah. They'll all say it. That's not normal shit for people to say, you know, especially when you don't need to say something like that. They're well famous by this point, or they have little weird things they say in interviews, you know, and their symbolism that they wear, Jay-Z, Rockefeller, Hollywood. The wood of a holly tree is what you make a magician's wand from.
Do you think these celebrities actually understand what they're dealing with? Do you think they really understand the occult aspects and what, you know, what they're working with?
I think most people think it's fake. You know, I think most people think it's fake, and they're willing to forego the future for the now and the material gratifications right now. You know, a lot of these people are very vain, self-centered, non-reflective people. You know, they what do you want me to wear? What do you want me to sing? What do you want me to say? They'll do it. So what do you want? They don't really, I don't think they.
That's what I think. They're probably mainly taking orders from someone else 100%. Who does know a little bit more about this occult stuff, you know?
And when they start to wake up, like Prince or any of these other people that start to wake up, they get killed. And they hang themselves from a doorknob with a elastic band or a necktie or some shit that is so out of character for people who have been doing drugs and partying and shit their whole lives. Again, I'm a fireman. I've ran a lot of suicides and suicide attempts, and I've never once ran a successful suicide of somebody hanging themselves from a door or something.
Well, how many do we have of that now? I saw a list the other day. It was getting pretty long of the red scarf that people hang themselves with. Amazingly.
Like Anthony Bourdain's, Robin Williams, I don't know, Chester, probably Chris Cornell. All of them, man. And and for me, I know most people will say, well, how do you know? I know me personally, I've ran at least a total of 50 suicides or attempts over the years. You know, I've seen people try to hang themselves with an extension cord and it will snap on them. You have to tie. I would show you how to tie a noose. You have to tie it a certain way and wrap it 13 times or so around this thing so that knot is strong enough to snap your neck. I mean, maybe you could tie something up and hang, but if you try to hang yourself from a door, you're going to just stand up on your feet. Your natural instinct is far stronger than. I've seen people try to shoot themselves in the head, man, and pull away at that last second and live because you want to live. You do, whether you try to talk yourself out of it or not. So anytime somebody says that from these celebrities that have gone through so much shit and have so much to live for and stuff, no, I don't believe it. I don't believe any of those celebrity deaths. It's like the Black Eye Club or the one eye symbolism you see them taking pictures of. Explain those. Those are some of my favorite conspiracies too. When you're like, okay, explain this. How many people do this over their eye and do these clear occult symbols? How many politicians have the one hand in the jacket?
How many times have we seen them breaking their MK Ultra programming and kind of freaking out like a robot or something? All that kind of stuff.
100%, dude. When the Al Roker, all these people, when they're just like, are they clones? Are they robots? Or what are they? Are they on drugs? I have no idea.
Right. I don't doubt anything, man. We've seen, pictures recently where it looks like celebrities are wearing masks of themselves, or even Joe Biden. Is that someone else wearing a Joe Biden mask? It fucking looks like it. I don't know, but this is getting weird.
We've reached the last season of Game of Thrones in reality, where it's just, we jump the shark and the fans are writing the fucking fiction, dude. And we are not good writers. People are like, what next? You know, what do we want to see next? And yeah, let's have a pedo for a president. And he clearly has dementia. And everybody's like, just don't look at it. Act like it's not even happening. The people who voted for him are so quiet, bro. You see something and they want to throw themselves off a building. They're like, abuse, trauma, call 911. You're harassing me. And you're like, yeah, okay, yes. Just let everything go to complete shit because we have geriatric people running our reality. I wouldn't let these people babysit my cat. And I don't even have a cat.
No, you're absolutely right. It is the most insane. It's like the worst sci-fi movie I've ever seen, with the worst script and the worst plot, but it won't end, and it keeps getting worse. And I'm like, God damn, I can't turn my TV off. I can't turn my head away. It's like a train wreck that you can't turn your head away from. But hey, you know, these are the times we're living in.
Worse.
It does.
Yeah, it keeps getting worse. It's insane with this COVID stuff, bro. It's like, what's your favorite conspiracy? I don't know, maybe COVID. It's wild to me that we're still in this situation 2 years later. Yes. People still walking around with masks on outside, and I'm like, bro, if it hasn't killed you yet, I mean,
Yes, I wanted to get to this one, but we gotta be careful because I do want to put this one out on YouTube. Yeah. So let's call it the oogity boogity jab. So this is a good conspiracy. This is the biggest one going around right now, but it's not a conspiracy, especially to me. I mean, and those with eyes to see. It's an agenda. It is an outright attack and war on humanity. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But my opinion is, yes, they're trying to poison and depopulate the planet with the oogada boogada jab. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think you have to be a conspiracy theorist to see what's going on. That's the funny thing is people will try to make you feel bad, will try to make you label you whatever. All it takes is a little bit of awareness and a little bit of knowledge and confidence when you see what's going on. And for me, for example, I don't even have to get into anything. I've never stopped working as a first responder, a firefighter, a paramedic. When you call 911, I'm one of the people that shows up. I've never stopped. 24 hours on, 48 hours off this whole time. I've never ran one, and I don't know anybody who's ran a call for somebody dead in their home, dead in their bed from COVID. Right. They're only dying at the hospital. I have ran a lot of calls. Bingo. I still do, for people having heart attacks at home. For people having new blood clots at home after they had a new intervention, after they had a new medical treatment. Mm-hmm. You know, something. An untested, when they sign, I've had people, they're like, hey, yeah, I signed up to be part of an experiment. And I don't even know what the experiment is, but I'm like, okay, cool. But they're always happy to tell you, listen, I have a mental health condition, and I'm part of a medical experiment. And I'm like, cool, okay. And including this, what I have run and what I continue to run are increased heart arrhythmias, increased menstrual changes, miscarriages, you name it, PEs, pulmonary embolisms, blood clots, strokes, a lot of these changes. So I see it, and I've never ran those. I never ran a call for somebody who was messed up from a flu shot. Now, I used to give flu shots and stuff, and but we were never worried about it. So, but now we're very worried about these medical experiments that these people are signing up for, willy-nilly out there on the streets, just saying, yeah, what is it? Mix them together, buddy. Give me 3 of them. Wild.
You're absolutely together, right. You know? It's like people are under some kind of strange fucking spell. People I've known for years who I thought were pretty damn smart are doing just what you said. I don't get that.
I know vegans who are like, yep, no, I'll take that. I'll put that in my body. But I'm a vegan. I'm like, that is that is good. That is good that you're non-GMO eating, but now you're GMO person. Now you are. So everything that you did is complete trash, and you are now a GMO person. So it's insane. And I'm with you, man. People that would tell you that don't experiment with drugs. You are the experiment, grandfather. Wild, bro. Wild. And there's no incentive. There's absolutely no reason. These people are going to line their children up that have been going to school for 2 years during this. And they're going to line their children up and give them how many boosters? Which one do you want? Because it really doesn't matter. We've never done a study on which one's better. There's 3 of them, and there's not a first, second, and third place. It's just, they're all the same. We can mix them up. Incredible how far science has come.
Yeah, how far it's gone. It's become just like a new religion that we blindly follow. So this is going to kind of lead us into the grand conspiracy that is going on right now, and it's what we just talked about and everything surrounding it, but it goes a little deeper. It's like biblical. It's like prophecy. Are we in the end times? Are we in times that were written about in the book of Revelation and previous texts and prophecies, Egyptian, Sumerian, even before, about there's going to be a massive battle, basically, between light and dark that will change the planet forever, not necessarily the end of the world, but a time of revelations, a time of great change, a time of that we haven't seen in possibly thousands and thousands of years. Do you think we're there?
I think it's possible. I think it's probable. I believe we are, but maybe we've always been there. Maybe we're always there. I think the writing's always been on the wall. We're reaching a point. I don't think technologically we're where they need us to be yet. I don't think we've reached a singularity or anywhere close. I think to be at the true end time, divine intervention point, it will be more. We'll have more. We're not really very far along right now. What we're doing, what we might have, is some type of Noah flood situation, but I don't think we'll have a tribulation situation just yet. Granted, we're always in the revelations. Things are always being revealed, and it's always biblical. That seems to be like when you're playing. If we are playing Minecraft, there's a user's manual, like a little cheat sheet guide. That's what the biblical is. The scripture is the script of this reality. And whether we're on it, this, the elite, the controllers of this reality are so superstitious, so deeply occultic and religious that they are always trying to superimpose scripture onto reality and contemporary events. They will always try to usher in the end times just so they can be the ones to control and steer it. So yeah, we're here. We're at the point, I think, like I said, where Noah, when you read the Bible, the book of when Noah, they make the flood because the genetics are corrupted, the Nephilim and all that. And with this experiment that everybody's taken part of going on right now, it's corrupted, I think, everything. I think it's corrupted humanity to a point that I don't think we'll ever be able to take it back. Now, what that means and what we're going to do with that, I'm not sure. But I know that the blood supply is completely tainted. Anybody who's going to need blood transfusions, they're gone. They're all of us who aren't with anything, whatever. Sorry to say that word, but any of us who still haven't joined in the experiment, there's patents. There's all you got to do is search self-spreading V technology. They've had it. They're probably putting it in the water. They're probably dumping it on us from the planes. They're putting it in our food. Now we're not getting the amount that someone's getting if it's going to be injected into you, but things are definitely changing. And now when they have kids and when their kids have kids, I'm not really sure where all of this leads, man. it's pretty insane where we're at that point.
Yeah, it definitely is. And just to let you know, I have to turn off my video. It's getting a little choppy, so I'm going to leave it off a little while because it's a lot more smooth when I have this off. Now, do you think that we have a chance as a society to change the course of this? Like you said, a lot of people have already opted into this experiment. They're already a part of it. Some people are deeper in it than others. I don't know if there's any kind of turning back once you hit that point, and there's a massive, massive split in society right now to where some are just blindly going with it. Some are going with it because they're terrified of going any other direction, or terrified of not being part of society, or not having a job, all the things that they're threatening you with if you don't go along with the experiment. Is there a chance that we could turn it around in our lifetime to where maybe we won't be facing such a dystopian nightmare? Or do we just kind of have to let it take its course, and then possibly after a period of maybe some screwy turmoil, we might get back to some normalcy and possibly maybe even better than before? What do you think about that?
As much as I'm an optimist, I know. Well, look, reality is whatever you want it to be, whatever you believe it to be and perceive it to be.
Yeah.
And I think we can try to change the world around us, but we cannot let it change us, because I do think that every generation probably goes through a type of letting go of the cultural norms in the world that they grew up in, and they have to give up control to the younger generation. The problem is it seems that all of humanity is giving up control to a select few. It's not like a natural cultural takeover where the young are just like, all right, no, we don't want to go to war anymore. We don't want to work in offices anymore. No, like, they're definitely forcing us out and forcing humanity out. It could be inevitable. If you're aware of it, the best thing to do is just to start detaching. As conspiracy theorists, you and I, we've probably held on pretty loosely to everything. And because we know even the truths that we were so confident in were lies, or at least deceptions. And truth itself is a moving target. So you really just have to be happy with the moment and happy with the decisions that you make. That's really all you can control, is your actions, your decisions. So me, I very well could be looking at losing a 14-year career, my retirement, my pension, my health care for myself, my children. I'm a single father of 2 boys. I spent a third of my life sacrificing it for other people for very little money, but I'll walk away from all that because that's the decisions that God or the universe gives all of us. So it doesn't really matter what the world does. It just matters what we do. And I think it's important that even if somebody did join the experiment, that they don't give up on themselves or the future, no matter what. And like me, I'll still fight for my kids' freedom, and I'll do that even if it's a losing battle. They might become homeschooled for a while. And we'll do everything we can to fight for the future. But if it's like one of those things where we have to go out and become monsters to beat this thing, I don't think that's the way we do it. I think we should just let them have this fallen world anyways, because we're not from here. This isn't ours. It's just some fucking game we're playing. So if it does change like that, then I think everybody needs to be at a point of spiritual maturity and understanding to where they know nothing ends, and that if they let go of this reality, that there's something better in store for them if they really have faith.
Yeah, that's really well said. And I was talking about this with quite a few people recently, that, myself, probably yourself, and a bunch of other people I know are living in a completely different reality than most of the world right now. We're not participating in it. our lives are going pretty damn good. We don't see people dropping dead on the streets. We're not going to be a part of an experiment. We're living our lives every day like we feel like we should be living them. And I look around each day and it's pretty nice, you know. The sun's shining, birds are chirping, people are smiling. In my reality, I don't see a huge pandemic or people dropping dead on the streets or a dystopian world. So, you know, I think if more people kind of focused on making their own reality as good as they want it to be, that could make some major changes as well. So, yeah, you're spot on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's all it takes. And that's what I focused the last couple months on when I was writing a book called Everyday Alchemy. And I did this little video series on my YouTube. And it's really involving that is that whether it's in your own personal life or the world around you, nobody's getting out of here alive. Unfortunately, I work really closely and hands-on to the worst days of people's lives. You know, the moment where they realize that they're not immortal, or somebody that they love isn't. And it's a crazy thing. Death and limitation is abstract until it really happens to you. And you can do anything until you can't. And unless somebody's telling you can't do something, I mean, to me, it's all about experience and integration. So trauma is going to happen to you, cancer, death, whatever it is, whether it's COVID or cancer or a car crash, nobody's getting out of here alive. So you better be ready to face that moment, whether it's for yourself or for like a loved one. You know, you need to be your authentic self now more than ever, because reality is going AWOL. So you need to stay centered and go within more than ever. Because like everything we talked about now, this crazy conspiracy stuff, all these, is it a flat earth, a round earth, is none of it is as crazy as the truth. The truth is so wild when you get into the Bill Gates, Epstein, Wuhan lab. I mean, we're in wacky world right now. So embrace it, embrace the chaos, embrace the change, and don't let it change your decisions. You know, a lot of people, I think, have reacted out of fear. And like you said, look at people like you and I who aren't participating. We should be dead by now if it was something so serious, but it's not. So, you know, it's fine if somebody took the experiment, but don't go for your booster. You know, it's never too late. It's like these celebrities that sell their soul to the devil. It's never too late for them to breach that contract with God, and, you know, he'll get you out. So I don't really subscribe to any of that eternal damnation, no matter what the world does. You know, don't join the Nazis and don't join the Shotsies either.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, 100%. Now we have to get to, of course, the extraterrestrial conspiracies. The past few years have been super interesting with, you know, what's been coming out of the news and mainstream media and even our government, but I don't trust a damn lick of it. It's done just cause more confusion than anything in my eyes. It's sending people down the wrong track, I think. To me, I've come to a hugely different understanding of extraterrestrials and what they could possibly be, or what they are, and how and why they're interacting with us. And ultimately, I'm just going to say I have no idea. I don't know what they are. I'm not sure if they're actually biological entities, physical, if they're angels, demons, if they're us from the future, if they're higher selves interacting with us. I don't know. Or it could be all of the above. But I have maybe a little better understanding than I did a few years ago, maybe a little bit, but it keeps changing all the time. I want to get your perception of extraterrestrials, or what people think are aliens.
Well, it's definitely one of my favorite subjects, because there is a deep truth to it. And you know this through scripture, through, if you look in any ancient text, the Bible, even, it's all UFOs, aliens, ancient astronaut theory type stuff. But then you look at Jacques Vallée and some of these other people that really get into the psychological aspect of it, you know, or the holographic nature of it.
Or even the spiritual aspects.
Right. Or even the spiritual aspects. I've had 2 abduction experiences myself, but I know that people, when they have abduction experiences, if they say, you know, the power of Christ compels you, the aliens will leave. So I do think they're demonic. You know, the first shapeshifters showed up as the native women's husbands, skinwalkers. So they can, the demons or whatever these things are, can definitely take the shape of anything. But like ghosts, I think ghosts appear to be electromagnetic in nature, which is like the EVP type stuff and electromagnetic phenomena type shit. And so do those, because magnetic seems to be similar to gravity in a lot of ways with travel. Now with disclosure, it's in the word itself, disclosure. We'll never get the full story. We'll never get closure. It's always going to be a dysfunctional type of description they give us. And I love some of these experts, but even the experts are always telling you some shit's going to happen that never comes. They're always going to tell us on this date that we have all this footage, and then it's more Bigfoot footage. It's more grainy crap. So it's hard to say, man. It could be one giant psyop. I like I said, I don't think we're there with the technology yet. I think that it eventually will be some type of Project Bluebeam, a controlled reveal. And you know that when they reveal aliens, it will be on their terms, and it will 100% be some type of psychological operation. So until then, I think until they have the technology to really do it, if anybody pays attention to any of these old UFO footage, that even the UFOs change. If they're arriving from Zeta Reticuli or even Uranus, that's how I know space is fake, bro. They got to 7 and they're like, Uranus. They're like,
man, they fuck with us on so many levels, damn it.
They really do, bro. No, Uranus. No. It's wild to me, dude. So, but when you look at this footage of supposed spaceships, even the lights are different. They used to be kind of like, they used to look like 50s vehicle or the vehicles in the 60s and shit. And now they look like the vehicles now. Now they have halogen lights and stuff when they used to have regular. Yeah. So I think that if they were arriving from even from inner Earth or something like that, or interdimensional, their technology wouldn't change as rapidly as we see it change. No matter how you parse their timelines, you could read the best science fiction and they'll say, oh, well, they're traveling at this light speed. Okay, well, whatever. Why have their ships changed like our vehicles have changed? That doesn't make any sense to me if they're some type of higher crazy intelligence. Now, if they're more than likely the military reverse engineering technology or artifacts that are here from some civilization, or they're getting schematics to build this technology from DMT downloads and some Silicon Valley Matrix plugin. I don't know what's going on, but I do know I've had weird experiences, weird downloads, weird awakenings where I've understood electromagnetics and science and technology more than I ever should, or I ever studied. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people have when they've gotten into the occult and all that stuff. You know what I mean? When you start to really understand resonance and frequency.
Yeah.
So
And that would probably also explain a lot that has to go on in these places of high strangeness, like Skinwalker Ranch, Blind Frog Ranch, Mount Shasta, Sedona, all these places where you have high concentrations of sightings and energy, and even like Bigfoot sightings, all kinds of strangeness concentrated into one area. Maybe it's because of the frequency or energy or electromagnetics in the area, something like that.
Yeah, the ley lines, or maybe it's just how this map in Minecraft is built,
Right.
There's just load points or whatever.
Somebody put it interestingly one time. It might be easier to just, if a person, say, with some of these missing 411 cases, if a person just disappears, it may be easier to just have them rendered out of the game, right?
Yep, 100%. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like, there's not enough computing power, so they're just like, whoop.
That's super interesting. Yeah, that goes back to the whole, are we just a video game being played by some highly advanced extraterrestrial that may get pissed off one day and just reboot the system? Who knows?
I mean, I think we're definitely the ones playing ourselves, some of us. The non-NPCs, NPCs aren't. There's a lot of Agent Smiths, too. So...
That's a good one. So do you think that there is a good portion of the population that may be an NPC?
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm with you on that one.
I don't believe any of the population numbers or statistics they give us either. You know that. I mean, anytime you do any of these population calculators, there would be way too many people here already. So, something's going on. There might only be 144,000 real people here. Right. It's strange, dude, because even you and I probably talk to a lot of the same people, and and you would even know some of the same people. It's a small world after all. Disney will tell you.
I heard a conspiracy theory the other day that something like up to 70% of people online are fake, something like that. That could be true. That's amazing. Yeah, man, the level of fakery and just show business that we live in, everything is, the world is a stage, man. That is so true.
Let me drop some really curious, some favorite conspiracies quickly for you.
Yeah, right? Go for it, man.
These are some new ones. These are some new ones now that we're talking about this stage of reality, right?
Yeah.
So just for people to think about, one, like game shows. Look how many game shows are out there. Have you ever seen anybody on any social media, any friends, family, somebody you know personally that won money or has been on any of these game shows you see on Netflix or anything? Every day.
No.
Dozens and dozens of game shows. People winning thousands and thousands of dollars, $1 million on Netflix, Hulu, you name it. Right now on TV, there's at least 3 or 4 game shows going on. Lottery winners, Jeffrey Epstein won the lottery like twice when he was in prison. Those are 100% just money laundering operations. And then they try to tell people, oh, well, no, you have really bad luck if you win. Well, you never see any of these people on the news. You never hear about them on the news, lottery winners. Art museums, 100% fronts for child and human trafficking and drugs.
I don't doubt that at all.
Tape a banana to the wall, tell you it's $1 million film. Nobody's.
Take a shit on a cardboard box. It's fucking art.
It's art, baby. Now that'll be $1 million. You know what I'm saying, dude? It's museums. Another thing. Museums were the theme parks but they were just artifact collection points, and then they just make people pay to see their own shit that they stole from their ancestors. Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, totally not blind. You go look at them. I've seen them take it.
This is a new one. Wait. Let's go back for a second.
I've seen a picture of Stevie Wonder taking a picture of Michael Jackson. Tell me why Stevie Wonder knows how to use a camera, why he needs a picture. They have set lists. They have notes in front of them when they're doing interviews, bro. Where are all the blind musicians now? You see all of these musical shows, musical competitions. There's no blind piano players like that, dude.
That is wild. Man. We gotta put this one out in the mainstream. This is a new one for me. I like this one.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's so many of them like that where it's like, where are they? Well, where are they? Show me them. If there's so many blind, if that's something that happens, right? Like all blind people are Daredevil. Where are they? I never met one.
Oh, that's crazy.
Stephen Hawking, 100%. Physics at Bernie's, Stephen Hawking. Bro.
Yeah, I could go with that one.
He was a speak and spell, whatever those things are, with MIT students. Like,
yeah.
I'm telling you, 100% prisoner, trapped in an iron prison. There'll be a movie about him, like the man in the iron mask.
Oh, man.
It'll be the man in the iron chair. 100%.
Oh, that's great.
Leonardo DiCaprio will play him.
That's great. Oh, man. Those are awesome.
Well, those are just some of my brainstorms.
Oh, hell yeah, man. We got to do this again. We got to bring some more of these awesome brainstorms to the table. That was fantastic. That was a fun show, man. Yeah, before you head out, let everyone know if they want to find out more about you and some of the stuff you got going on. What's the best way they can do so?
Yeah, man. YouTube. My YouTube is the 100th Monkey Jake Parsons. I have some video playlists on there. I really like. I wrote this book called Everyday Alchemy, and there's a video playlist in there called Everyday Alchemy. I think it's really good. It's really relevant to everything we talk about. It's all about understanding the language of metaphor, and everything we talked about, we see in the movies and the TV shows and the culture all around us and the music. They tell you these truths. You just have to be willing to see them and accept them. So yeah, that's it, man. It's really just 100th Monkey Jake Parsons on YouTube.
Awesome, man. That was fantastic. We're going to have to do this again. I had a blast.
Definitely, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Awesome. Until next time, everyone, have an excellent evening, and we will, of course, talk again tomorrow.